Yesterday, I was on a podcast. We were talking about a lot of different things. The thing that came up for me that comes up over and over again, I think, is how many women that say they believe that self love is not selfish, but then their life doesn't reflect that. And let me just break that down a little bit. So you say self love's not selfish, but when was the last time you did something for you just because you enjoyed it, not because it was something you had to do? When was the last time you learned something new? Like self growth is a big part of self love. A lot of people think that self care is what self love is, but it's not. It's part of it. It's part self-care is part of self-love, but if all you do is self-care and then you're not taking care of the other things like self-respect and self-awareness and self-growth and some other things that I teach, I use the analogy of a tire and you're gonna have a flat. It's gonna go good, good. Because all you have, if you only do self-care, it's not gonna create the life that you want. The other thing that I come across a lot, especially in Christian women, I love Jesus. I am a Christian and I don't want to offend anyone. This is what I believe. And you don't have to believe the same thing, and we can still coexist and we can be friends and we can love each other, even if we don't believe the same thing. Ask me how I know. And but what I have found is that specifically Christian women have a harder time with self love. And I think it stems from a very early age. We as women are taught, at least in America, I don't know about other places, but we're taught that self sacrifice is to be revered and that we're taught to give and give and give. And we don't have any more to give. A few months ago, I went to a church and the pastor was talking about self love and only mentioned the negative side. Like he never mentioned the good side. And so at the end, he was praying and he said, "Stop loving yourself." And it literally took everything I had not to say no. And was he wrong? No, he was not wrong. He was talking about a selfish kind of self love where you make yourself more important than everybody else, where you're a narcissist, you're a taker, you're not doing anything good in the world, you're putting yourself above God, and that 100% is not okay. And in the Bible, it talks about like the thing it says to love God and love others as yourself, which implies there's a healthy way to do it. Because if God told us to do it, there's a way to do it. And what I teach is a way for women to be able to have self love for themselves, where we talk about you can't pour out of an empty cup, right? So I've got a cup right here. Can't pour out of an empty cup, which is 100% true. But I teach women to keep their cup so full that it spills over to the saucer of their life. And then they can give out of the saucer and they can give us some kind, generous, loving ways because we love to give, right? But we give in a toxic way a lot of the times that it's not going to serve us well. And so when we can learn to take care of ourselves first, the old analogy, put your face mask on first, right? Here's my suggestion. If you want to change the world, start by loving yourself first. Because when you do that well, you can give in some kind, generous, loving ways, and you won't be depleting from yourself, and you'll be able to give more and do more. So if you want to change the world, start with you. Start with you. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to do anything else. And so that's my encouragement for you today. And Christian women, I see you, I feel you, I am you. I've learned to be able to give to myself first so that I can give to others. I'm glad y'all are here listening and watching. And if you have any questions about self love, what it is, what it's not, I would be glad to have that discussion. Comment on the video below or send me a message.